Imagine this. December 1872. A ship is found drifting silently, aimlessly in the vast expanse of the Atlantic Ocean. Its sails are torn, but the vessel itself is perfectly seaworthy. Inside, the cabins are orderly. The food is untouched. The valuable cargo is safe. There's not a single drop of blood, not a sign of a struggle. But the entire crew, every last person is gone. No distress call was ever made. No clue was left behind. Just an empty ship, a ghost on the waves, and a captain's log that ends abruptly mid-sentence. This was the Mary Celeste, and its story is perhaps the most famous and perplexing maritime mystery in history. What happened aboard that ship continues to baffle investigators, historians, and storytellers, even today. To understand this puzzle, we have to go back to the beginning. The Mary Celeste set sail from New York City on November 7, 1872. At the helm was Captain Benjamin Briggs, a highly respected and experienced seaman known for his discipline and calm demeanor. He was a family man, and this journey was no different. He brought along his wife Sarah and their 2-year-old daughter Sophia. Joining them were 7 hand-picked crew members, all with solid reputations. Their destination was Genoa, Italy, and their cargo was over 1,700 barrels of industrial alcohol. For the first few weeks, the journey seemed routine. The weather was fair, the seas were calm. By all accounts, it should have been a smooth and uneventful voyage. But then, everything simply stopped making sense. Fast forward about a month, to December 4th. Another vessel, a Canadian brigantine named the Dei Gratia, was sailing through the same stretch of the Atlantic. Its captain, David Morehouse, knew Captain Briggs personally. So you can imagine his surprise when he spotted the Mary Celeste moving erratically, its sails in slight disarray, as if no one was steering it. He hailed the ship, again and again. Silence. Sensing something was terribly wrong, Morehouse sent a boarding party over to investigate. What his men discovered was beyond eerie. It was a scene frozen in time, but with its most crucial element missing. The ship was completely deserted. Yet it was in remarkably good condition. There was over a foot of water in the hold, which was unusual but not dangerous for a ship of its size. The sails were set, though some were torn, suggesting they might have been caught in a squall. But the ship itself showed no signs of significant storm damage. The real mystery began when they went below deck. The crew's quarters were undisturbed. Clothes were folded neatly in their sea chests. Personal belongings, including money and valuables, were left untouched. In the captain's cabin, everything was in its proper place. Toys belonging to little Sophia were found on the bed. A sewing machine with a piece of fabric still under the needle sat on a table. It was as if everyone had just evaporated. The galley was even stranger. There was a 6-month supply of food and water still on board. Provisions were laid out on the tables, as if the crew was about to have a meal. The ship's cargo of industrial alcohol was almost entirely intact. Only 9 barrels were found empty. Critically, there were no signs of violence, no struggle, no bloodstains. The only things missing were the ship's chronometer, its sextant, the ship's papers, except for the captain's log, the single lifeboat, and every single person. 10 souls had vanished without a trace. The last entry in the captain's log was dated November 25th, 10 days before the ship was found. It recorded their position as just off the Azores Islands. The entry was routine, noting their location and the fair weather. It ended normally. Nothing in it hinted at any trouble or impending doom. What could possibly have happened in those 10 days to make an experienced captain and his crew abandon a perfectly sound ship in the middle of the ocean? When the Dei Gratia crew sailed the Mary Celeste to Gibraltar, the official investigation began, and so did the speculation. The court of inquiry was stumped. The first logical theory was foul play. Piracy was a common fear, but it was quickly dismissed. Why would pirates attack a ship, kill or capture everyone on board, but leave behind the valuable cargo and all the crew's personal belongings? It made no sense. Another theory suggested a mutiny. Perhaps the crew had risen up against Captain Briggs. But Briggs was known as a fair and competent captain, and his crew was handpicked. Furthermore, a mutiny would almost certainly have involved violence, and the ship was pristine. Not a single weapon was out of place. Then came the idea of an explosion. The cargo was industrial alcohol, which is highly volatile. The theory goes that some of the barrels may have leaked, creating a buildup of flammable vapor in the hold. Fearing an imminent and catastrophic explosion, Captain Briggs might have ordered everyone into the lifeboat as a precaution, perhaps tethering it to the ship to wait for the danger to pass. But if that were the case, what happened next? Did the rope snap, leaving them adrift? Did a sudden storm appear out of nowhere and swamp the small, exposed boat? This theory is plausible, especially since 9 barrels were found empty. But there was no scorch marks, no soot, no evidence of any fire or explosion at all. As the years went by and the official story remained unsolved, more imaginative theories began to surface. People whispered of giant sea monsters, like the legendary Kraken, that could have plucked the crew right off the deck. Others suggested the ship had sailed into some kind of paranormal vortex, a Bermuda Triangle-like anomaly, even though it was found far from that region. Tales of alien abduction were even thrown into the mix. The story captured the public imagination, becoming a modern myth of the sea. The fate of Captain Briggs, his family, and his crew remains one of the ocean's most haunting and enduring mysteries. Their lifeboat was never found. Decades later, stories emerged of a derelict lifeboat with skeletal remains washing ashore in Spain, but these claims were never verified. The Mary Celeste itself seemed cursed. It was sold and resold, changing hands 17 times. Its final captain deliberately wrecked it off the coast of Haiti in an insurance fraud scheme in 1885. It was as if the ship itself was destined never to find peace. Today, with all our modern technology, satellite imaging, advanced forensics, deep sea exploration, we are no closer to a definitive answer than they were in 1872. The Mary Celeste floats on in history, a silent monument to the unknown. Its story serves as a chilling reminder that the ocean is a vast and mysterious place, capable of keeping its secrets forever. Because sometimes the most terrifying thing is not what you find at sea, but what has been inexplicably, silently taken away. Thanks for watching. If you're fascinated by the world's greatest unsolved mysteries, don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more stories that will keep you wondering. See you next time.